If there is one fact that prevails time and space, it is that mysteries will always be abundant. Every day we live our lives surrounded by hidden truths and the lurking unknown just waiting to be uncovered. Sometimes we find out shocking information that changes our view of the world. Whatever the case, humans are filled with undying curiosity that will always push us toward the pursuit of discovery. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we'll be taking a look at 3 awe-inspiring discoveries. Skeleton found in England with a nail through its foot is evidence of Roman crucifixion. Archaeology is a field that allows us insight into the frozen fragments of the past. Archaeologists claim that they have discovered a skeleton with a nail lodged into its foot. While we have known about the ancient Roman method of execution via crucifixion for centuries, what makes this finding intriguing is the skeleton's placement: England. Evidence of Roman crucifixion in England is extremely uncommon, making this skeleton a lucky find. The cadaver was found during the excavation of an ancient Roman settlement dig in Fenstanton, Cambridgeshire. The area was first settled by Romans back in the 1st century AD. Overall, the archaeologists involved with digging up the settlement discovered 5 entire cemeteries. It is within one of these cemeteries that they found this particular nail-lodged skeleton, believed to be a grown man who passed away when he was between 25 and 35 years old. The Albion Archaeology project manager David Ingham, responsible for leading the excavation, stated that they were unaware of the nails stuck in the skeleton's foot until they returned to the laboratory and were cleaning off the dirt-covered bones so they could then analyze and observe them. According to Ingham, the feet were positioned on either side of the cross's upright post, the feet fastened by horizontal nails through the heels, a grim way to go into the afterlife, surely. The University of Cambridge's Corinne Duhigg, one of the university's archaeologists, worked with Ingham to analyse the nail and bone structure of the man's skeleton. Together, they discovered that the nail was, likely, forced through the foot during the act of crucifixion. This would make it the best preserved proof of ancient Roman crucifixion in the world, as well as the 4th piece of evidence to prove it even occurred. It's believed it was quite common as a manner of execution. However, proof of it is incredibly difficult to find. In fact, this Cambridgeshire skeleton is only the 2nd skeletal remain found with direct proof with the nail, as the 2 previous claims from Egypt and Italy, respectively, had no nail or anything associated with crucifixion inside the bones. Several decades prior, in 1968, there was a skeleton discovered in Jerusalem with a nail etched into the foot in a position akin to that of the Cambridgeshire skeleton. According to Ingham, everyone knows about crucifixion through Christianity. What people don't necessarily realize is that there were lots of different ways in which the Romans crucified people. So it is not just the classic image, up on the cross, arms out, spread, feet together. Ingham suggests that an alternative method might have been for the body to be tied across the cross instead of nailed, as even in records where nails were utilized, they tended to be removed so that they could be reused. The nailing of feet might have also been a torture method less than it was about keeping the body affixed, so victims could not move their legs into a less painful position. Ingham states it was relatively common, but it was still reserved for the most serious crimes that threaten the state, particularly sedition, witchcraft, that sort of thing. These were people who had seriously fallen out of favor with the state, to the extent that they had been crucified. It shows that Roman law was still applied even in the furthest provinces of the empire. The extreme west of the empire, in Britain, which was a particularly disturbed place by the time that this person was living, in the 3rd and 4th centuries, there was lots of political upheaval. As a result of the disgrace that accompanied such an end to one's life, family and friends often abandoned the body without giving it a burial. The corpse would then rot, reclaimed by the earth and concealing evidence of the crucifixion. Nearly 8,000 strange blue lakes have appeared in Antarctica. Researchers claim that a myriad of bright blue lakes have mysteriously formed in eastern Antarctica. These lakes are rapidly appearing on the continent's icy sheets and are beginning to deeply concern scientists. These lakes, though unexpected, are not a first time happening. Between 2011 and 2014 in Greenland, similar lakes were forming on the country's ice sheets, resulting in a shocking trillion tons worth of lost ice melted into thousands of lakes. In the UK, a team of scientists have been studying the meteorological images and findings regarding the Landholt Glacier in eastern Antarctica. In between the years 2000 and 2013, it was discovered that almost 8,000 lakes have appeared. In the span of 13 short years, a plethora of these ice lakes have covered the surface of eastern Antarctica. Many of these lakes are referred to as meltwater lakes or as supraglacial. This means that they seem to drain the floating ice below them, endangering the whole ice shelf they have formed on, as it could disbalance the ice-to-water ratio. The frightful part of this news is that scientists believed prior to this discovery that eastern Antarctica was doing okay with the rising ocean temperatures and have neglected observing it in favor of the much weaker and more susceptible to heat Antarctic Peninsula. This proves that we know little about supraglacial lakes and how they might impact the icy continent further. Stuart Jameson from Durham University, one of the researchers, has stated the East Antarctic is part of the continent where people have for quite a long time assumed that it's relatively stable. There's not a huge amount of change, it's very, very cold, and so it's only very recently that the first supraglacial lakes on top of the ice were identified. These lakes are not eternal, they disappear. Sometimes they refreeze, which is fortunate when it happens, but sometimes they overflow into surface rivers, which can lead to travesty. As shown by Greenland's disintegrating ice sheets, these lakes will likely speed up the ice melting and rising ocean level process. The effects of climate change are becoming increasingly more undeniable. In the summers of 2012 and 2013, the number of new lakes forming rose by a frightful 36%, especially in the area of Landholt Glacier. Fortunately, this is not the beginning of the end yet. However, should things continue down this path, it will lead to 1,000 problems in the future. 2016 was the hottest recorded summer in Antarctic history so far, causing even more supraglacial lakes. In Jameson's own words, the size of the lakes are probably not big enough to do much at present, but if climate warming continues in the future, we can only expect the size and number of these lakes to increase. Traces of solar system's oldest molecular fluid found in meteorite. Upon a winter morning in the year 2000, just above Canada's beautiful skies, an ancient meteor fell into the Earth's atmosphere and exploded into 1,000 tiny shards that fell onto the Tagish Lake in British Columbia. The shards were titled the Tagish Lake Meteorite Shards. When Tagish hit our atmosphere, its mass was believed to be at 200 tons. The mass burnt up in what appeared to be a huge ball of fire. This fiery display was what prompted researchers to recover the shards and analyze them. The shards have been kept in freezers ever since. Analyzed to be about 4.5 billion years old and containing what is believed to be ancient chemistry within them, these little meteorite fragments possibly hold the key to uncovering more about our solar system's birth. Lee White, a mineralogist, states, "We know water was abundant in the early solar system, but there is very little direct evidence of the chemistry or acidity of these liquids, even though they would have been critical to the early formation and evolution of amino acids and, eventually, microbial life." Using new atom probe technology, White's crew can take an even closer look at the components that form the meteorite. Their research revealed tiny rhomboidal magnetite grains inside the shards. Rhomboidal grains resemble tiny raspberries in shape and need much sodium to form, meaning that the meteorites had to form in sodium-rich, alkaline environments. The fluid that might have made them must have been around when the solar system was still in its infancy. We do not yet know, and probably will not know for a long time, how the solar system actually formed, but missing puzzle pieces such as these help take us one step closer to discovering the exciting truth. Scientists are studying the meteorite's amino acids, pH, natural temperature, among other things that will help them to determine vital things about its formation. Beth Limer, a meteorite researcher, states, "Amino acids are essential building blocks of life on Earth, yet we still have a lot to learn about how they first formed in our solar system. The more variables that we can constrain, such as temperature and pH, allows us to better understand the synthesis and evolution of these very important molecules into what we now know as biotic life on Earth. Who knows what the advancement of our technology or future discoveries will bring? Only time will tell. But what do you make of these fascinating discoveries? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comments section below and help us by growing this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.